I am so stoked to finally be filming this video for you all. Today I'm going to be swatching and reviewing the Wet n Wild Megalast Matte and Mega Shine Lipsticks. I've got this beautiful PR package here that I think got lost in the mail actually, because this is not a new release by any means. But in a recent poll, y'all said you still wanted to see me swatch them, share my thoughts, so that's what we're gonna be doing today. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Miranda. Welcome to my channel where we talk all things budget beauty. If that sounds interesting to you, then become the newest member of the Swatched squad by hitting subscribe and the bell icon. All right, let's talk about these Wet n Wild Megalast lipsticks. As I mentioned, they come in two finishes, matte and mega shine, and they are only $2.99. These are a new core product from the brand. They are permanent, and I gotta say, I think they are already earning their place as one of the best drugstore bullet lipsticks. Now, the matte and mega shine formulas both have their own highlights, so we'll get into that in a second, but something to note about both formulas is that they are fragrance-free, which I'm actually pretty excited about. I've slowly been making the conscious decision to weed out fragrance in my routine. I'm not super worried about it in lip products as much as I am things that are on like the rest of my face and my skin, but I know some people are very sensitive to that on the lips, being as it's right under the nose, so hopefully these lipsticks can work for a lot of different people. And the other claim that goes between both finishes is that they are long-lasting and they are comfortable to wear all day. Why don't we get straight into swatches, because we have 26 shades to get through today, so I will be talking over my swatches and sharing my thoughts after trying these lipsticks out for a little bit. Let's start with the positive. These lipsticks, as you can see in these swatches, are so freaking creamy and pigmented. I was really surprised. You can totally get opaque color in one swipe. No building up necessary at all, which means that you don't need to layer it on, and they do feel pretty lightweight on the lips. In this matte lipstick formula, there is hyaluronic acid, natural marine plant extracts, coenzyme Q10, vitamins A and E, muru butter, argan oil, plus sunflower and passion fruit seed oils. All of these ingredients make this lipstick not only incredibly comfortable, but actually moisturizing to the lips. Now, I have to point out the elephant in the room, and this is something surprisingly I haven't heard a lot of other people mention in their reviews of this product, but the Megalast matte lipstick doesn't really look matte to me at all. As you can see in these swatches, the lipstick actually retains quite a bit of shine. It's more of like a cream sheen finish. It's definitely not glossy, it's not shiny, but it's not what I would consider matte. For me, in a matte finish, whether it's lipstick or foundation or eyeliner, I'm looking for something that's flatter and that doesn't reflect. Something a little bit more powdery in finish, but not necessarily feel. And these just kind of give me traditional lipstick vibes. It's kind of middle of the road, maybe a demi matte, but I wouldn't even put it at like velvet matte. So that was definitely a little bit confusing when it came to this product specifically. Now, something else that's a little confusing about this matte lipstick formula is even though it's really creamy on the lips, it doesn't feel dry at all. It doesn't dry up later in the day. It consistently feels creamy. It sort of tugs when you apply it. It doesn't quite glide on. And with that, I found it a little difficult to create a very clean lip line, because as it sort of tugs at the skin, you can get a little bit of skipping towards the edge of your lip. So it's really weird because the formula is not dry at all, but I guess the bullet itself is a little stiff. What I do love though is that this did not accentuate any texture or dryness on my lips. As I'm swatching these, my lips are actually kind of busted. I have a few flaky areas that I haven't exfoliated off, and I don't think that this lipstick calls attention to them. The pigment doesn't bunch in those areas. Especially with darker lipstick shades, this is an issue that I run into a lot. It ends up looking darker around my dry areas. So this lipstick definitely outperformed in that department. Now let's talk about the lasting power of these Megalast matte lipsticks. lipsticks. The thing is, because they are not truly matte and they stay creamy throughout the day, they're not exactly transfer proof and they're not exactly smudge proof. However, the brighter, bolder, and deeper shades all stain pretty significantly, which does help them look like they last longer, because as the lipstick rubs off of your lips, you are left with a pretty even wash of color underneath. Now, the flip side that I noticed to that is that they actually stain very quickly. So if you're working with one of these darker or brighter lipstick shades, they're not very forgiving. If you make a mistake and you need to remove some product from an area, there will probably already be a stain there. Now, I did do a wear test with the shade Mauve Outta here, and everything looked pretty good for several hours. Even as I was drinking water out of a glass and I saw the lipstick transferring, it looked undisturbed on my lips, but when it came to lunchtime, that wasn't the case. Here's what I was left with after eating a grilled chicken pita. Nothing particularly greasy, but my lips were definitely in direct contact with the food. And as you can see, I got the dreaded transfer onto my chin, and the color was pretty faded on the innermost portion of my lips. However, the shade I'm wearing today, Cinnamon Spice, did so much better against a greasier meal of pesto pasta. There's no transfer, no smudging outside the lip lines, and the inner fading is a lot less noticeable. Overall, I have pretty positive feelings about these lipsticks. I think that they are gorgeous, super high impact color, and very comfortable to wear. Now let's move on to the Wet n Wild Megalast High Shine lipsticks. As the name suggests, these have a high shine, glossy finish, and these actually have a buildable pigmentation. I found that they did stay slightly translucent and sort of had a glassy effect even when you built them up. The color didn't look 100% opaque to me. Now, this formula is the bomb. It feels so good on the lips. It includes muru butter, mango butter, and sunflower and watermelon seed oils. This seriously feels like you're wearing a really hydrating, cushy lip balm or lip treatment, and that feeling lasts. Now, since these are slightly translucent, the problem that I had with the matte lipsticks in terms of the edge not being very clean, you don't really have to worry about with these ones because you kind of get more of a blurred edge. So all in all, I just feel like these are easier to apply. You don't have to be super like surgeon precise with them. They glide on so easily like butter. I just found it a lot easier and faster to quote unquote do my lips with this formula versus the matte one. And even if you layer this formula up, it does stay feeling lightweight and sort of slick and thin. And even though the texture is more slick and balmy, I didn't find these to feather or bleed outside of the lip lines at all. I really like the shiny finish, and I honestly didn't think that I would prefer the Mega Shines versus the mattes, but I kind of do. My literal only complaint with the Mega Shine ones is that I wish the reds were a little more red. They lean a little pink, just to my eye. Tell me what you think in the comments after you see the swatches, but some of them just don't have that vibrancy, probably because they are a little translucent. Lastly, let's quickly touch on packaging. So for $2.99, I think this packaging is actually really cute. They have these little metallic lips on the side, and they're definitely a little bit more elevated versus like their 99-cent lipsticks that you can find at the dollar store from Wet n Wild. I also really like that not only on the bottom do we have stickers that reflect the shade of lipstick it is, but the caps are clear too. So you'll easily be able to find whichever shade you're looking for. Now, here's my major complaint about this packaging, and I have seen a couple people mention this. On both the High Shine and the matte tubes, the lipstick does not go fully into the tube. It doesn't twist all the way down. You're always gonna have this like 1.5 centimeters of lipstick poking out. Now, the first time I heard somebody complain about that, I was like, Okay, what's the issue? The issue is that when you're closing it, you have to be really careful to like line up the top so that you don't take a chunk of lipstick off. And same goes for opening it. You want to open this like exactly straight up and not at an angle, or you might scrape off or even break off the tip. So it's just a small little detail that can become a big problem if you're not careful. Now, with all things said and considered, I think for $2.99, the Wet n Wild Megalast lipsticks in both matte and mega shine are still some of the best bullet lipsticks you can buy at the drugstore right now, especially for the price. They perform just as well as some other drugstore lipsticks that still cost more money. The matte ones actually sort of remind me of the Maybelline Color Sensational lipsticks, which I think are about like $7-ish. So definitely a not so hidden drugstore gem, as long as you go into it with the right expectations, which hopefully you will after watching this review. But I want to know what you think. Tell me in the comments which finish did you prefer and what were your favorite shades. Today's shout out goes to Ruth. Thanks for being a member of the Slashed Squad. And join me over in this video next where I test 5 waterproof drugstore eye pencils and we'll find out which is the best. I'll see you over there. Bye!